I'm gonna let this seep over the atmosphere. We got a class today. Do we have a class? For those of you looking for a title, Bending the Simulation. Bending the Simulation. This class will go 30 minutes over. I will repeat that again. We're in a designed overtime. All your children are welcome. Deanna has been wise enough to invite Dawn. My kids are gathered round. John Calloway is ever attractive as usual. This song is called the Cloud Atlas Sextet. 6 keys. Doing a lot of things. From my favorite movie, and the book is even better, Cloud Atlas. It makes me want to go, our God, our Father. We come to you right now. One of those, Jerome. Don't make me pray. If I pray, I'll tear this whole thing up. Don't let me pray. Grace. I pray like a Baptist preacher. You know, all cameras on unless you sent the message, and you'll be having them on a little bit. You know the drill. Make sure your volume up loud enough over there. All right, Bending the Simulation. I was about to privately send that to you. Which part? Oh, what's the topic?
No.
Yes.
That prayer.
Oh, yeah. I should go ahead and pray, huh? Pray and go and get that over. Yes. All right, let's start from the beginning here. Bending the Simulation.
Chuck, I've been public on the fact that I'm waiting for someone to convince me that we don't live in a simulation.
I've heard you say it.
The arguments put forth have been quite convincing to me. And most of the best arguments are traceable to a guy named Nick Bostrom, a philosopher at the University of Oxford.
Okay.
Here's the argument. Ready?
Go ahead.
Our computing power is growing rapidly.
Right.
We create simulations of worlds. We have video games with characters that are inside the video game.
Right.
Imagine a day where you can simulate a world so perfectly with life forms, humans, so well that you can recreate every single neurosynaptic thought you could have, but now you're in the simulation on the computer.
So,
including the perception of free will.
Well, there you have it. Because so now you would have enough computing power to imbue the Sims inside of the program with all of the human traits that we possess now.
Correct. Not only our human traits, but the world.
But the world.
The world itself.
Right.
And you don't have to have all the world existing there at all times.
Right.
That might be an unrealistic amount of computing power.
Right.
You just need
enough of the world that they see around them.
Right. So you want to start digging, and
that's so funny.
And haven't put the earth there. There's a flag that goes up in the programmer, and they say, need more earth. So they put earth beneath you while you can keep digging.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah, well, for example. Okay.
Cool.
Or does Minecraft, you can build
or
stuff?
Minecraft.
Right.
Oh, that is Minecraft.
Right. Okay.
God, that guy's a brilliant genius. Okay.
So, and we went to the moon. It's okay, let's make sure the moon is there.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe that's why we can't travel faster than the speed of light. Because if we could, we'd be able to get to another galaxy
before they could program
that galaxy. So much fun.
So the programmer put in that limit.
Put in the limit
because that's the fastest they can get.
We can't program fast enough. So we put in a limiter. The speed of light is a limiter so that you can't get to the next thing before we build it.
All right, so let me finish. That's good. That's good, Chuck.
All right.
So let me finish this. So now that world evolves and they develop computing power.
Right.
And they say, we want to play video games.
So now we're going to make a world.
So then they make a world and they have sufficient computing power that they invent to create a whole universe within their computers.
Okay.
And then
they make a world.
And then they make a world all the way on down.
Right.
It could be hundreds, thousands, billions, infinite.
All right. So far, this sounds like it still works.
That's fine. So now close your eyes, throw a dart. Which of these universes are you going to land in? The first one that's real or the gazillion that are not?
Well, yeah.
Just statistically. Okay.
Am I drinking when we're playing this darts game? Because
then you missed
everything. No.
So
yeah,
there's something called Bayesian statistics where you're allowed to introduce information that you already have available to you, even if you didn't measure it to be true. So we establish the likelihood that one day we'll have the power to do this.
Right.
And then that factors into these statistics.
Okay.
So there's 1 in a zillion, you're the real universe, and 999 zillion to 1 that
you're a simulation.
That convinced me. And I don't want to be convinced. I didn't like it. And I was just begging for somebody to give me an argument that was cogent enough to undermine that entire reasoning. And I just came across one.
Uh-oh. Who? Okay.
Okay. It's a good friend of mine, Rich Gott.
All right.
He was a colleague of mine back when I was at Princeton.
All right.
Deep thinker, likes calculating the ends of things.
Nice.
With Bayesian statistics. He's heavily quoted in this book, The Doomsday Calculation. And William Poundstone is a smart guy unto himself. And I am now convinced.
Now you're convinced.
Are you ready?
Okay, go ahead.
What do all these So here is what convinced me we are not in a simulation.
Okay.
Are you seated?
All right. I'm seated.
Are you hold on.
I'm going to hold.
Okay. All right. What do all those simulated universes have in common?
They're simulations.
They have the power to simulate themselves.
That's what I'm saying. They're simulations.
No, they have the power to simulate themselves.
Right. Oh, okay. Yes.
That's what they all have in common.
Make a simulation.
They have that power.
Right, exactly.
To simulate themselves exactly. Do we have that power now?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Which means that we can't send it we can't send ourselves into the future as a simulation.
Because we don't have that power yet.
So we can't continue the chain.
Wait, so either we are the real one,
right,
or we're the one in the chain that's still evolving to try to then make a simulation within their own world.
Right.
So the odds of us being a simulation goes from a gazillion to 1. I mean, to the likelihood of a gazillion. All right.
It flips.
It flips. 50-50.
Wow.
And I'm good with that. That changes my life completely.
Yeah.
Okay? And no longer are your kids going to say, Dad, it doesn't matter. We're in a simulation anyway. No, you got an argument. You have a rebuttal.
Exactly.
Now, a quick one.
I have to do my homework.
I go, ready?
Go ahead.
Maybe these simulators have a side activity where they like reminiscing about days before you could simulate. That would be us.
So now we're Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. We're Pong.
We're classic. Yeah. Classic gameplay.
So maybe we're just entertainment, like a historical exercise.
Right.
That's possible in principle. However, let's look at our own conduct with that regard.
Okay.
I think of a movie as a simulation, just for the sake of this conversation, which it kind of is. Ask yourself, how many movies have been made in a time before we ever knew how to make movies? Relative to movies made in the era where we know how to make movies. You can do the numbers. It's small. Yes, sure. The Spartacus, there's the OK Corral.
Three Musketeers.
Those exist.
That type of stuff.
Okay?
Okay.
If we are any measure of the incentives of creating simulations, which all we can do with movies at this point, then they might have some historical thing, but there's way more interesting things and stories to tell in the era of simulations that exist post-simulation.
Right. All right, I'm gonna stop right there. If you are just joining us, today's class is called Bending the Simulation. Thank you so much for having your cameras on. Thank you so much for messaging me that your camera will be in a few minutes. And then some of you are on the toilet. And so we understand that you just keep that off camera, that nobody is attractive on the toilet unless you're married to them. And then you'd be like, oh my God, you're so attractive. And you're eating a sandwich while they're on the porcelain throne or something like that, right? Only that's okay. Yeah, that's
you know we have young people present. You know that, right? Sir?
Yes.
Okay,
yes. Well, I know Don's okay. I know my kids get it raw every day. They between me and they mama, we don't shelter them no bit, no bit at all. Bending the simulation. I want to tell you a story, and I want to get to another video. This class will go 30 minutes over. It's designed that way. It's been designed that way before y'all even enrolled into the class. I got in trouble twice in religious circles. Well, I got in trouble all the time in religious circles, but I got in trouble twice that bothered me. Did that make a little more sense, Kim? Only 2 times did I lose sleep over the trouble. The other times, that silence was me cussing. Okay. Now, I said it in my head, Grace, because Jerome's, we got kid presence, you know. The last time I got in trouble is when I first started becoming a preacher. There was these older, well, they were younger than me, but they were older than me. Preaching is a really funny business. Like you can accept your call at 16 and 14, be 23, and the dude could be 50, but you still his big brother. Preaching is a real funny thing. It's a real funny thing. Like it really is. It really is, which I respect it. And all these seasoned preachers was round and round, Susan, talking about how all Muslims, oh my God, I shouldn't do this, how all Muslims are going to hell. And I had not preached yet my first sermon. But the problem with Antonio, Susan, is I think for myself too much. And I just couldn't understand, Kim, why preachers will believe in a merciful God that would send most of the world to hell. I just couldn't wrap my head around it, Otis. Muslims, like if you wasn't Christ, then you was going to hell. I'm going to start off with Muslims. So then, Kim, I really messed up when I challenged, it was Brian, by the way, Grace. All right, there you go. It was Brian. That's his first name. We now give you last name. W is the last initial though, but it was Brian. Grace knows he comes from her church. And I really got in trouble, Susan, when I said, let's take it out of Muslims for a moment. And I'm not trying to argue. I'm actually trying to play Madden. That's what I was there for. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. You know, Kim from the hood, she get it. I'm actually trying to play Madden. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm thinking, wait a minute, let's take it out of Muslim. Let's take it out of Judaism. Let's just take it out of religion. What if I was born with Down syndrome? If your theology is predicated on me confessing Christ, what if I was born or stillborn? Like what if so they hit me with, well, you know, age of accountability, which is not in the Bible, by the way. No worries. I thought, okay, then so what if I never get rapped right and I can't confess? What if I can't talk? What if I'm deaf and I can never hear the word of God? This is my thing. See, Otis, I am a real menace to society because I think for myself. You know, like free thinkers, consistent free thinkers, we're a problem. We are a vast problem. That's why we become entrepreneurs. Just ask Susan. She'll tell you. Right? That's why we become entrepreneurs. And I realized then, people don't know what they're talking about. That's the second time. Well, I mean, come on. If God is so strategic, Kim, if God is omnipresent, omniscient, and all powerful, then, which is omnipotent, omnipotent, then how is God confused about Muslims being born? Like this don't make no sense. So God is shocked there was Jews, shocked that they're Muslims. You know. Anyway, The first time I got surprised, I mean, the first time I got in trouble, actually, not the first time. This was the second time, but the most important time. Did y'all hear that? This is the time that they really had me messed up. Actually, was the first time. I'm in Sunday school. It was their fault, Trinace, because the way Sunday school works in Spiritual Truth Church, non-denominational, which act like Baptist though, non-denominational, but they're so non-denominational, Susan, that they are a denomination because they're so non-denominational. You know what I mean? Like they're so non-denominational, they are a denomination. You understand? I asked a question because they were telling me if I pray, I can change things. Uh-oh, watch this here. And then they were telling me that God is good if I'm good. It's okay. I'm about to drop a bombshell. I am. I'm taking you slow. I learned a new term. I was talking to some powerful people, doesn't matter the organization. And it was like, Antonio, when I tell you I'm in the school zone, that means I need you to slow down and listen to what I'm saying. That's what it says, school zone. So I need you to slow down. This is school. This is the school zone talk. That's why I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down for y'all. We in the school zone. Put your cell phones down. Listen up. And I go, wait a minute. This is me. This is me. This is teenage Antonio causing trouble. See, the problem, first of all, problem with Jerome is I ain't know nothing about God till I was 14. But by the time I was 14, I was 44. So this is a problem. This is a major problem. I'm in Sunday school with these dudes still putting glue on their hands and peeling it off. I'm selling crack. So we're not the same. I'm selling crack cocaine. They sniffing glue and spray paint. We are not the same. We are not the same. Like we're not the same. I was a crack cocaine dealer in Sunday school. I bought my first car at 16 with my own money. Okay, with my own money. So we're not, I'm just way too ahead of my britches. And I said, wait a minute. Pastor Temple, he still pastors the church to this day. Are you telling me that I can do what I want? No, you can't do what you want. Wait, no, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said, okay, you said that if I pray and if I do good, I can get whatever I want. And there's no punishment for me, which means I can do whatever I want. I got in trouble because this made me try to burn down the church. If y'all, whoever knows that story, yeah, I had no, I actually tried. There's Monique, Grace, then they heard this story. I actually tried to burn the church down. This is what made me try to burn. I literally did try to burn the church down because I got upset. This is before I was a master of my emotions, Susan. I got upset that I couldn't ask a question without getting chived and chastised. But I understood back then, Jerome, that Earth was a simulation. We genuinely come to Earth. This is the way I understood it then. For God to accelerate us, and it's not real. It's a soul experiment. I'm not gonna say nothing else as of right now, but that was my problem. Y'all never heard any of this from me before, but I got papers on it. I stayed in trouble in college. Go ahead, y'all. I stayed in trouble in college.
Okay. The simulation theory. That one I didn't learn until you.
That's right.
But as a kid, I used to think that when I was reading a book, I would think, okay, I'm sitting here reading this book about Sarah's life. But what if somebody's reading a book about mine? Like, as
you was much smarter than me.
That's how I used to think. And then Men in Black, remember at the very end of the first one, they
Yeah.
opened up one locker and there was a whole little world in there. But then Kay opened up another one and there was like
A
another.
whole nother world in there, a
So
whole galaxy.
that's how I think. Like I really believe, like the part of me feels like when somebody's reading my life like a book. And when I was younger, I was like, okay, so what would I want them to read?
Yes. Okay, so
Like
let me,
those
let me-
are the
keep
questions I
going,
would
keep
ask.
going. No, keep going,
So
keep going.
those were the questions I was asking myself. And so I started as a kid, I created this world that I wanted to live, because when people read the story of my life, I want them to feel like I felt when I read the story of somebody else's life.
So then you love The Bridge of Terabithia then. That had to be a great movie for you then. Have you not seen it?
I saw it, but it's been so long.
No, you didn't see it then. You was multitasking. No. If you said that, no. You didn't, you went on your
No,
cell phone
I
back
have
then,
seen
but
The
you
Bridge
was,
to Terabithia. That was me.
That was a great movie.
that was a great
was me.
movie.
Like when
Sad
me,
ending, but a great movie.
my grandmother's house, all the way out on O and a half,
Hmm.
used to sit like
They don't know what that means, but keep going.
4 feet off the ground.
That's
So
Galveston.
me and my cousin, when we went under the house, we went into a completely different world. Like we,
So you did. So you did. Well, Chronicles of Narnia, Bridge of Terabithia, different
yes,
world. All makes sense. Grace, yes, I stayed in trouble at Houston Baptist University, now Christian University. My thesis, no. Okay, let me give you my 2 papers. My bachelor's, it's not called a thesis because it was something like 10 pages. That's not a thesis. That's not even close to a thesis. A thesis is something like a book. So that's not the same thing. My bachelor paper was, I forget the thesis. I don't remember because it was irrelevant, but it was something similar to how much do Muslims love Jesus, and do they have salvation? It was something like that. And the answer is yes, 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 and yes. Jesus is actually the Messiah in the Quran. He actually defeats the Antichrist in the Quran, gets mortally wounded, and then ushers in 10,000 peace as he dies at the feet of Mecca, or what you would call Susan the Temple. That's 1,000 years of peace, which sits right into the most popular understanding of a revelation, a Christian understanding, that before you, even if you agree with the second and third one, it's only real 3. Even if you agree in a rapture, there's a bunch of people that still got to stay down here that would then at some point get 1,000 years of peace and may make it in. Like, even if you agree with that, that's still jiving with the Quran. Grace, my master's thesis was to whether or what extent does the gospel change if the Bible, no, does the New Testament change if the Bible only existed from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? See, I'm controversial. I said, forget your Old Testament, forget Paul, forget all that other stuff, all that revelation, all that stuff. Nope. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, how much do your New Testament change? And you know what, Jerome? It changes a lot. Now, I was peed off. I actually got a 90 on my thesis, which I should have got 100. A 90 is an A-. I was very upset about that. There were some points that I did not argue to this full extent, Susan. Technically, he had a point. That silences me cussing again. I did not appreciate that. I'm going to play this next video for you. God bless you. That's all I can say. Wait a minute. Everybody stop multitasking. Continue to eat and boo-boo and push out your turds. Some of y'all with your cameras off, it's time to cut them on now. It's time to cut them on. We'll be 22 minutes in. So get unnaked quickly and cut your cameras on. Pay attention. Yes. Yes. And next time you do some ribs and stuff, Just throw my tofu up in there. Let me get some of that flavor. I should have told you that. Let me get some of that flavor. Could have got my tofu up in there. You understand? Because they got pork ribs around this joint, and it smell real good up in here. I might eat something. Don't tell Susan, but it smell real good up in here. I need some. You could have sauteed my nasty tofu up in there.
I smelled them from outside. Okay.
You smell it from outside
Before I walked in.
before you walked in.
Yeah.
She out of line. Cooking like a grandmother. When you plan on being a grandmother? Okay, she said, not for 20 years. That's not what she said. It was no FT, NFT, but no effing time.
Welcome to Open Your Reality. I'm going to be dropping a lot of spiritual bombs today, so brace yourself.
When you plan on being a grandmother, Diana? Let me see.
The same time as Monique.
Okay, NFT. Tracy, when you plan on being a grandmother? I thought like 19, 20. Damali, when you plan on being a grandmother? Is it NFT for all y'all? Is it non-fungible token? Not fungible, not none, and not token?
And I'm gonna have a lot. I don't know when, but I'm gonna have a lot.
God bless you. You know what? You are definitely married to an African, because you got it in your spirit. I don't know how you was raised in Houston. You should have been raised in Nigeria.
For impact. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I post a lot of videos about simulation theory. I feel there is a very strong possibility that we are indeed living inside a computer simulation. And it's not just me. Very intelligent minds across the world are concluding this point. Elon Musk, one of the great innovators and minds of our age, believes with almost 100% certainty we are simulated. I understand you may not believe in the simulation argument, and that's perfectly fine, as I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. If you want to watch this video for entertainment, or just find out what simulation theory is all about, then stick with me. Now, I've made a number of videos explaining different facets of simulation theory, but none that really tie all the information together. That's my goal for this video. If you're new to my channel, and this is the first video you're seeing from me, have no concerns. You're in the perfect spot. This video will touch on a lot of things and be more free-flowing, but it's going to be super informative and jam-packed with all kinds of cool spiritual knowledge. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so and give me a big thumbs up. I truly appreciate that. And thank you to all the people who have been leaving comments. I definitely try to read and respond to as many as possible. With all that said, let's jump into the abyss. Where to begin? Well, first of all, we know that there is a creator. This universe has intelligent design. But then again, of course it does, because it is an advanced computer simulation. Whether you believe it or not, reality is computed with ones and zeros, and everything that exists, including your consciousness, is nothing more than information. Now, the important thing to understand for people new to simulation theory is that we cannot travel outside the simulation. Our whole universe, all the dimensions in it, and every last one of us are all part of the simulation. But whoever
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. It says a lot of the same stuff Neil Tyson deGrasse said. Says the same thing. But he brought up this new element, but we can't travel outside the simulation. I've heard Phil say something very similar. I would say multiple times. It should be something like 1,000 times he has told y'all something similar to this, but I'll let him condemn himself to his stoning of death. I won't stone him to death for him. We can't exists outside of the timeline. Now, I want to introduce something to you real quick. I want to go back to the Bible. Is this okay, Damali? If Damali says it's okay, then she says it's okay. All right. Jerome, I want to ask you a question. Hold on. I'm going to call out names, and I really need y'all to give me feedback. If you disagree with feedback, no worries. Just send me, you know what?
I disagree with you.
Fair enough. That's about right. You're gonna still participate though, because you the only man I'm gonna call, so you ain't got no choice. Nah, you ain't got no choice. The rest, the ladies, you can disagree. Jerome can't undisagree. Okay. Trinace, Jerome, Grace, Deanna, Damali, Renee, Susan. These folk I know for sure still do Sunday school in the morning. You understand? Did you hear what I said? Did you? I know, Trinace, you gangster, but you get the point though. You kind of do Sunday school in the morning. You feel me? You on your way left.
Yeah, something like that.
Susan got her whole. Here's the deal. I'm not saying you haven't accepted other things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you got that background though. You still know how to put on stockings. God forbid that you have to ever do that again, because this is not the same heat from the 80s. That's a whole different sun. That is, I don't know where this sun come from. That's not the sun in the 80s is not the sun in 2023. That is not the sun. This is not.
Yeah, tell God to turn the oven off. We falling off the bone down here.
Yeah, buddy, we real tender. We real tender. So all you names, I don't remember your names, but I just want to ask y'all a question one at a time, a couple at a time. I want to ask you a few questions. Jerome, I'm gonna start with you first. Lead the way. As men, we'll lead the way. You'll take the bullets first. Jerome, I want you to go back to the book of Exodus. Is this okay? Exodus has the most miracles in the Bible. And here's the deal. I promise I won't ask y'all any questions that forces you to remember a scripture. I promise I won't. You will not have to remember any scriptures that is unnecessary. Is that okay? Okay. Trinace, you next. But Jerome, can you give me any instance from the children in Egypt to leaving Egypt all the way until we're gonna give you the whole Pentateuch, Jerome. We're gonna give you Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. We give you Genesis 2. Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. I'm sorry, that's drill team stuff. My bad. That's drill. Y'all don't know nothing about that. We'll give you the first 5 books of the Bible, Jerome. Grace, but you felt me though, because West Point had a drill team a long time ago. All right, Jerome, can you give me any instance in which God will change your current reality for you based on those first 5 books? Doesn't matter. Pick any one. The whole thing will change. You can think of Sodom and Gomorrah if you want to. It don't matter. You can think, but if it's 100 people, you can do whatever you want. Don't matter to me. I won't lead you no more. Go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and eat my little rice. That's not Dr. Sebi. You go ahead.
So I reflect on your question.
Yes, sir.
There were a few occasions where men of God asked God to do some things.
Yep.
But when you look at the totality of it, it was already in place to be done by God. So God was having a conversation with them.
Okay, fair enough.
But, he already went ahead and did what he wanted to do.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hold on real quick, Jerome. Let me back you up. I'm going to throw you a curveball too. Let me back you up though. Jerome was talking about things like in which Noah had no power to curse Ham or Cush, but God was already going to do it. So Noah just spoke up on something God was going to do. Is that okay with y'all? Jerome's right. In which Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham is like, God, come on, man. You find 50 people. You got to let them make it, though. If you find 50, I'll go ahead and let them. And then Abraham acted like Antonio. Since I got you here, I mean, since me not pushing it further, 25 of them, my nigga. Oh, this is my bad. That was too much Antonio. 25 of them, partner. That's how I'm gonna replace that word, great. 25 of them, partner. Oh yeah, you give me 25. Well, since you're here, how about one of them? I ain't gonna lie to you. How about one of them? If I find one of them, this is what Jerome's saying. Yeah. But here's a curveball for Jerome. Y'all ready? That ain't got nothing to do with Aaron. With Aaron being held up his arms by they got nothing to do with Exodus 17. It got nothing to do with the fact that the moon stretched far longer than what it should have. And as long as Aaron and her or whoever it is held his hands up, reality bent for them. As long as his hands was up,
they won.
His
hands went there, they lost.
That sounds like assimilation to me, Jerome. Would you?
Or when was it Aaron went out and stood between the living and the dead?
Come on, my man. So it sounds like if you tap into the right algorithm, you can change some things. No, that's fair. If you watch,
I agree.
That's in the Bible, man.
It's in the book.
That's in the book. One of my favorite movies is A Knight's Tale. Y'all familiar with it? Heath Ledger, A Knight's Tale. A man can change.
Yes, I love that movie.
It's a romantic movie. It's a comedy. It's a lot of things. It's science. This peasant becomes a knight. That just makes me feel good. Hear me well. And it's hear me well, Grace. Hear me well. Hear me well. You ready? You ready, Grace? All throughout written history, men and women have altered reality, and we now call them heroes. Joseph Campbell wrote a whole book about a hero with 1,000 faces. Nah, you can't deny that. We don't even call nobody Damali heroes unless they alter reality. Does anybody have a comic book hero, any hero that lived a regular life? Is it no? So if you live a regular life, you just Thomas. Yes. That's what you Thomas, Theo, Calvin, Melissa, Carla. If you've been reality, you Aquaman, Spider-Man. This makes sense. We genuinely, as human beings, since the advent of oral storm, there you go, you're right, Deanna. Since the advent of oral tradition, when did oral tradition start, Phil? Phil will answer the question way before you started, Antonio, because that was the answer to the question. Oral tradition has been passed down since Stonehenge was intact. That was I don't know how to make unsophisticated jokes. This is why I'm not a comedian, because my jokes are like scholar jokes. I don't know how to. Aquaman happened in Montgomery, Alabama. You feel me? Some of y'all didn't get that. Don't worry about that.
You're right.
That was Aquaman.
You're right, Aquaman.
Okay. Anyway. All right, Kim. I forgot the order. I forgot the names by now. Kim, your Bible. You love the Lord. You raised your son in the Lord. He looked good, by the way, too. He almost looked good as me. I looked at your son. I say, damn, is that me? I looked at your son. I said, is that me? Your son look like me. I looked at your son. I was like, is that me? But you know what I'm saying, that's them push-ups, cub. You know what I'm saying? I had the fourth time was for me, Grace. 3 times for y'all. The fifth time was vanity. Anyway, Kim, can you or deny an instance in the Bible in whichever you know, in which somebody believed and reality changed?
I think, yes, because
I don't know scriptures. I just need a vague, you know what I think, a chick named Shaquika, you know, something like that. I don't even need it. We'll just, you just say what you know.
okay, well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say yes. Because
That's true.
say the woman that touched the woman with the issue of the blood.
You better talk. You better talk.
I'm healed. She believed that she was healed. That was her reality.
That might, you know what? Anybody else name I said, no offense to you. I don't need no more examples. She done brought the greatest example. Not only, Kim, was that my first sermon, but allow me. My first sermon was actually the lady with the issue of blood. That's December 6th, 2007 to 2008. 2008. I had to sit a year with the deacons because they were some haters, but don't worry about it. Kim, your answer is so good. May I tell you about the lady with the issue of blood? Do you mind if I Antonio this thing up? I don't want to give you, I'm gonna give you scriptures, Otis, but I need to do it with my raspy voice and my uncouth thinking. Is that okay? Okay, cool. My man said, Otis still got that hood in him. You feel what I'm saying? Don't worry about where he at now. Otis know about taking a piece of biscuit and shining his shoe up so he can go to church. He had to walk to church. Y'all don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about Otis know about oatmeal being a meal. He know about when you get inside, take them school clothes off.
Put them play clothes on.
What ketchup sandwiches was a whole meal. And Thanksgiving, if Thanksgiving was November 27th, you wouldn't eaten the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, or the 26th. And then on the 27th, you was eating turkey for the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, and the 32nd, and that ain't even a day. And you was eating ketchup wings, ketchup turkey, all that stuff. He knew about the little. I just know about you can't run the toaster and the other thing at the same time, or the circuit will blow out. So y'all ain't from. Y'all ain't from.
That's my life right there. Except for the ketchup sandwiches. You know
mayonnaise sandwiches. You sound like a mayonnaise sandwich person there, or a mustard sandwich. But you was gonna eat a sandwich.
Just Wonder Bread, man. Just be glad you had that.
You a girl? You know, y'all eat 3 pieces of bread. My daughter eat 3 pieces of bread, but Monique be getting that honey oasted bread or something. You know. Anyway, Kim gave us our last example. Here's the deal, Trinace. The book of Leviticus told. Let's all make Trinace the lady with the issue of blood. Can we do that? She doesn't have an issue with blood. She's old enough to be, if she ain't in menopause, she in pre-menopause, so I can't speak just against her. I don't mean to put your dirty business out there like that, but I know you hot as hell right now at work. Like, it's hot up in here. Y'all hot. You understand? She say she young. She can still have all her babies. Okay. All right. Well, Trinace still get pregnant? No. Okay. She said I got rid of that. They grabbed that right on out of me. About 39 years old. That's out of me.
Will you move on, please?
I'm sorry, my bad. Let's start talking about Trinace's uterus and let's move on to the story. That was very Republican of me to worry about her uterus. You're right, Jerome. Thank you so much for keeping me in check. If you are Trinace, let's make her the lady with the issue of blood. Don't worry about that, Renee. You just stop typing. The lady with the issue of blood, according to Leviticus, was unclean. Because according to the Bible, she bled. What was it, 13 years, Grace? 12 years? 12. And I don't know if y'all know this, but the book of Leviticus said, if you bleeding, you got to be outside the town. And anything you touch need to be outside the town too. It's also unclean. And you need to go to a priest, Otis, to be, excuse me, mind if I say it for real, Kim? You need to go to a man. Is that all right? Is that, you need to go to him. Kim, you need to, no, let me Trinace, you need to go to a man for this man to deem if you clean. That's your Bible now. You can say what you want. That's your Bible. Put me on speaker, Grace, so your mama can get mad. That's your Bible. You understand? That's your Bible, okay? And Trinace bled 12 years. For 12 years, she wasn't just an outsider. She was an outcast. Does anybody know what the outcast feel like? To where you can't even, you don't just not have an opinion. You're not even worthy, you know? This lady wasn't worthy. She couldn't have any dates. She couldn't do anything. She wouldn't even allow to eat with her friends. How the hell she heard about Jesus, Susan? I'll never know. The text don't mention it. And I don't know how an outcast can hear about the Lord. I can just tell you that Jerome's Lord specializes in outcasts hearing about him. Come on, Jerome, you should have shouted right there. Between you, David, Jeremiah, and Susan, y'all should have all shouted right there. Outcasts specialize in hearing from the Lord, Jerome's Lord, Susan's Lord. Blind Bartimaeus, I ain't never seen nothing, but said, I need to go see that man. Be quiet. I can't be quiet. Lord.
Barabbas.
Oh yeah, Barabbas. Trinace heard Jesus was coming, saw Jesus was coming, and there was more people in that crowd than the Barack Obama's inauguration. Y'all familiar with that? Did y'all live in 2008? You say what you want. You still ain't seen an inauguration more packed than Barack Obama's inauguration. You got to go to like George Washington to see a more inauguration. And everybody, here's the deal. Kim, is so many people in the crowd. She pressed. The text says she pressed. The King James text says she pressed and thronged. That's what it says. And everybody she touched, Susan, she made unclean. And sure enough, they knew who she was. How you gonna be unclean for 12 years and we don't know your reputation? See, because if you touch me, if I may, let me explain what unclean meant, Susan. As a man, if I'm unclean, I can't even touch a woman. And you got me. There's more. As a man, I'm not allowed to worship. As a man, I'm not allowed to read. As a man, I'm not allowed. But forget all that worship. As a man, I can't get none of that. So you're not for this. Okay. So you're not about to make me unclean and have me outside for 7 days. That's too long. It's only a few men up in here. I'll raise my fist for all of us. We understand. We're not going to do all that. You understand? So I can imagine, Susan, this is not in the text. This is Antonio's imagination. Actually, if I could hood this up, did I say I can? Okay. I can imagine that I saw this lady. And I said, get away from me. And I knocked her down. She didn't complain. She got back up. The problem, Jerome, is she got back up to another Antonio. I said, move. I ain't touch her. I ain't touch her. And kicked her while she was down. This is not in the text. This is eisegesis. I'm adding things into the text. They're not there. But we do need to critically think about this, Kim, that if you touching me makes me unclean for at least a week, I ain't even let you touch me. And she pressed her way through the crowd. Packed crowd, touching everybody, just to get to the one touch that changed her life. So you're not telling me that's not simulation theory. I don't know what it is, but I'm not trying to bother y'all. I'm not trying to bother y'all. I got one more video for us to play. Don't worry about it. Actually, I know how to. I'm gonna skip the third video. Deanna, repost those texts out there. This time I'm gonna bother you with something else. It's not my fault. Blame Phil. Blame Susan. Everybody. All right. Everybody get your blame fillers on and get your blame Susaners on. Yes. Did that work, Grace? Did they do it? Get your blame Phils and your blame Susans. You can blame them for this next clip. As soon as wrong folder, Grace. Your fault. Blame Phil. Blame Susan. But here we go, Grace.
Forward. In the minds of the mortals of Urantia, that being the name of your world, there exists great confusion respecting the meaning of such terms as God, divinity, and deity. Human beings are still more confused and uncertain about the relationships of the divine personalities designated by these numerous appellations. Because of this conceptual poverty, associated with so much ideational confusion, I have been directed to formulate this introductory statement in explanation of the meanings which should be attached to certain word symbols as they may be hereinafter used in those papers which the Orvanton Corps of Truth Revealers have been authorized to translate into the English language of Urantia. It is exceedingly difficult to present enlarged concepts and advanced truth in our endeavor to expand cosmic consciousness and enhance spiritual perception when we are restricted to the use of a circumscribed language of the realm. But our mandate admonishes us to make every effort to convey our meanings by using the word symbols of the English tongue. We have been instructed to introduce new terms only when the concept to be portrayed finds no terminology in English which can be employed to convey such a new concept, partially, or even with more or less distortion of meaning.
I stop right there for a second. Nice. I'll meet you, Mike. Funny. You're looking good. You're looking like you took a bath this morning. You drank your prune juice. That's what my grandmother did. She drank her prune juice. I can't tell you all the other stuff she did, but anyway, today she got your mic on mute. I'll meet your mic tonight. I want to ask you a series of difficult questions that you can handle. That's why I picked you. Cool. That won't make you look bad either. But you can just handle it. Cool.
Okay.
Can you tell me where alien comes from?
Or who?
An alien.
From somewhere not here.
Can you tell me where Jesus comes from?
From someone that is somewhere not here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. That was so easy. Can you tell me if an alien is human?
That's based on perspective because we could be alien to the one we call alien. So.
And can you tell me if Jesus is human?
Or the Bible, have human, have spirit. I don't know. He could be alien.
Of course, according to Nicene Creed, 100% human, 100% spirit. But we keep going because we don't want them. We don't want Jerome and Grace to throw stones at you. That's heretical. So make them half and half. I make them 100, 100. Trinace, is Jesus an alien?
No. He looks human, so I guess he's not.
So do aliens look human?
We don't know. We assume they alien because they ain't like us.
Does the alien have a technology to wrap upon our flesh and make us see them?
Probably so, but let's stop right there because this is the thing. This is the thing.
Talk to me.
You remember back in the day, I don't know how old you are to remember, Cheech and Chong's song, It's No Fun Being an Illegal Alien?
I do remember.
You remember that? Okay. So they were alien because they were not from the United States. So, I mean, I guess you can be alien if you not from the United States, you're not from a country, not from where the people
planet. Is
Right,
Jesus from the planet?
Oh no, he not. But we talking about how you can relate alien as not a part of, but it is a part of.
So then Jesus is an alien.
Yeah, likely.
Is the definition of alien not of this planet and on one?
Say that again.
Is the definition of alien not from this planet, but on this planet?
I don't have an answer.
The answer is, everybody, yes. Oh, thank you so much. Jesus is very much so an alien. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
so.
That's the definition of alien. Is Jesus
Well, I
from
mean,
this
but
place?
I mean,
Is Jesus from
but
Crenshaw?
I'm just saying, if an illegal alien is not from the country, then Jesus is not from here, so he could be an alien. And when we go to another country, we are an alien too, because we are not from that community.
That's true. Since Jesus, you're absolutely right. But since Jesus was not like born in America, and since there were no illegal immigrants the way you understand it at that time, we're gonna go ahead and call Jesus an alien because the very definition of alien is Jesus. Is this okay with everybody? I know this offends you, but this is okay.
I'm okay with that. I was just relating everything together as far as alien, because we could be alien to something else.
We are alien. Susan is an alien to crack cocaine. She don't know nothing about it. She ain't from it. And she ain't gonna ever get into it. So we are. She's an alien to white sugar. So, which is worse than crack cocaine, to be honest with you. White sugar has killed more people than crack cocaine ever will. Ask Susan, she'll tell you. Go ahead, Jamal. Jamal? Okay, here you go. Okay, I got you. I muted you. So, Grace, if Jesus is an alien, I want to rewind real quick. Just for a moment. Just for a moment, Grace. If you don't mind, if I can just, this is at 2 minutes and 8 seconds. I just want to take it right here, okay? Let's listen to this last statement.
Only when the concept to be portrayed finds no terminology in English which can be employed to convey such a new concept, partially, or even with more or less distortion of meaning.
All right, stop right there. You hear that word distortion again. My question is, no, Trinace, I'll mute your mic. You're looking good. You're looking like $1 million. Did Jesus, an alien, introduce new concepts?
He did.
Okay, thank you so much. So, for the next 5 years of this class, it's not 5 years, Urantia and Law of One, you can mute your mic, Trinace. Urantia and Law of One will have aliens informing Susan on new information. Is this clear? A better way to say this, Damali, is higher beings will then pass upon Talisha, who is now open, information for the rest of us. Did not Jesus be a higher being? Is anybody disagreeing that Jesus, Muhammad, well, let me just, most y'all Christian, let me just leave that up. Was Jesus a higher being? Is this okay? Does anybody disagree with this? And did he impart upon a select few information to pass to the rest of us? And that is Urantia and Law of One. I'm not saying, Jerome, these are canonical or scriptures, which you get that from. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is aliens giving regular human beings information is not new to mankind. Now that's fair. Oh, wait. You might as well go get your Mary J. Smoke them up, because we ain't got no class that you can handle this sober. If you having a resistance problem, you might as well just ease that tension. You think I know, and I ain't saying nothing mean, but the idea of aliens giving us new information so we can live better as humans ain't new to us. What you want me to? how we built the
I
pyramids.
mean, isn't that what prayer is for? Like you pray to get
A
information
higher being to
from
get.
a higher being.
That was a very good thing, Dion. I'm so glad you said it because I wouldn't have thought about it. Anunnaki. I'll be quiet on that one. Whenever I pause for a while, that's my billionaire training, Susan. That's me knowing that I've never been hurt by nothing I never said. So I'd rather you have an awkward silence than me being hurt by something I said. Anywho, watch this here, Talisha. The book of Urantia is given to us. You listening? Given to us from smart people, higher ascension. But don't take my word for it. Let's fast forward a little bit.
Save only the one uncaused, the primeval cause of causes. Therefore do we conceptualize this philosophic value level as the I am, at the same time instructing all creatures that the eternal Son and the infinite Spirit are co-eternal with the I am, in other words, that there never was a time when the I am was not the Father of the Son, and with him of the Spirit. The infinite is used to denote the fullness, the finality, implied by the primacy of the first source and center. The theoretical I am is a creature philosophic extension of the infinity of will. But the infinite is an actual value level representing the eternity intention of the true infinity of the absolute and unfettered free will of the Universal Father. This concept is sometimes designated the Father Infinite. Much of the confusion of all orders of beings, high and low, in their efforts to discover the Father Infinite is inherent in their limitations of comprehension. The absolute primacy of the Universal Father is not apparent on sub-infinite levels. Therefore, it is probable that only the eternal Son and the infinite Spirit truly know the Father as an infinity. To all other personalities, such a concept represents the exercise of faith. 4. Universe reality. Reality differentially actualizes on diverse universe levels. Reality originates in and by the infinite volition of the Universal Father and is realizable in 3 primal phases on many different levels of universe actualization. 1. Undeified reality ranges from the energy domains of the non-personal to the reality realms of the non-personalizable values of universal existence, even to the presence of the unqualified absolute. 2. Deified reality embraces all of infinite deity potentials, ranging upward through all realms of personality, from the lowest finite to the highest infinite, thus encompassing the domain of all that which is personalizable and more, even to the presence of the deity absolute. 3. Interassociated reality. Universe reality is supposedly either deified or undeified. But to sub-deified beings there exists a vast domain of interassociated reality, potential and actualizing, which is difficult of identification. Much of this coordinate reality is embraced within the realms of the universal absolute. This is the primal concept of original reality. The Father initiates and maintains reality. The primal differentials of reality are the deified and the undeified, the deity absolute and the unqualified absolute. The primal relationship is the tension between them. This Father-initiated divinity tension is perfectly resolved by and eternalizes as the universal absolute.
All right, stop right there. Don't worry. I'm here to explain all this away. I'm going to jump ahead in the book, and I'm going to jump in a lot of different places, but let's kind of break down what was just read in your hearing. There's something happening Oh, there you go. There's something happening. And there are these three elements. In this particular case, he said, Father, Holy Spirit, I believe he said something. Something happened. I want you to recognize in your hearing when something is happening outside of Otis. When I say Otis, I want you to say Kim. Whatever your name is. It's typically done through the God, Father, and Holy Spirit, subconscious, conscious, superconscious. It doesn't matter, just as long as you have a Trinity on it. Is this okay? Talisha, when Talisha asks, how do I forgive my ex? That's not a Trinitarian problem. I'll rewind, I'll press play. Pay very close attention to me. When Otis says, oh, whiskey bottle I pray to every night. That's not what he does. I just don't want to put a religion on Otis. Oh, whiskey bottle. Fair enough. I love me some whiskey. I pray to you every night. Give me $1 million. That is a Trinitarian problem. When Otis is praying to something outside of Otis, is this okay? When Otis is praying to something, someone outside of Phil, Otis is calling upon Don, the great Trinity. Now what you call that Trinity, ain't got nothing to do with me. Whatever you call that great Trinity has nothing to do with me, Jamal. I don't care if you call it black and mild vanilla. That's got something to do. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's on you. Some of y'all didn't get that hood joke. But when Talisha says, I'm having trouble forgiving my ex, well, that ain't no Trinity problem no more. I'm fake clearing my throat. That's a duality problem, because that ain't got nothing to do with God no more. That has something to do with the great duality of things. And I'm trying to show you something. Whiteboard is now on the screen. I'm trying to show Aiden, Ashton, and Aaron that in this simulation, this world is split in two. Before we prove this, we got to go to Jerome, our elder Biblesman. Jerome, the 10 Commandments, are they split in two to your best knowledge? First 5 do something, second 5 do another thing.
Yes. So,
fair enough.
Hey Antonio, can I throw something at you?
Throw it at me.
Why don't we go with Deuteronomy 28, the blessings and the curses?
Oh, you are starting trouble. Pull it up, Grace, because I know it. I wrenched around and wrenched it off. Okay. Let me answer this first with Jerome. Pull it up, Grace, but don't share the screen till I'm ready. The first 5 commandments go up to the Trinity. Diana, if you don't mind pulling up the 10 commandments, let's pull up 10 commandments. The Jewish version actually has, which y'all will call 11, but they care about the story of Egypt. Y'all don't, as Protestants, you don't. So their first commandment is longer than one. And I want you to watch. And do me a favor, Diana, don't pull up the scripture. I need you to pull up list 10 commandments. I just need to see a list. We don't even want to see scripture. We just want to see list. And we're not putting credence. We're not putting credence, Otis, to the 10 commandments because they stole them from Egypt in the first place. I'm gonna let that sit there for a little bit. Damali appreciates me, that's for sure.
Yep.
So we not
right from the principles of Maya.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're not putting credence in that, but we are putting credence, Jerome, in that it was an ancient people that understood a law. Is that okay? Watch this here. I'm going to ask you if Kim, I'm going to just ask you, Kim, can you unmute your mic? I know Big Daddy in the background. Tell Big Daddy keep on cooking for you. You know what I'm saying? Well, tell him keep on cooking. I know he cooking that stuff for you. Cooking that stuff you like. Yeah. You make sure he get rewarded later. The 10 Commandments. Kim, we're going to stay on the left side. Otis, I'm going to come to you on the right side. Kim, you shall have no other gods before me. Is that God talking? Excuse me. Is that Kim? Do you need to address that to Antonio or God? Which one?
That's God talking.
True. And that ain't, you ain't got to say, okay, Antonio, I hear you. You got to say, okay, God, I hear you, huh? Fair enough. You shall not make idols. Kim, is that you going, okay, Antonio, I won't? Or is that, okay, God, I won't? Fair enough. You shall not take the name of your Lord in your God in vain. Is that, okay, Antonio, you right, you my Lord, you're my God. I won't take you in vain. Well, you and let me say, because Big Daddy in the background listening. You know, whatever Big Daddy name is, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's daddy. But this is Big Daddy. You feel what I'm saying? Is that to Antonio or God? Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Antonio or God? Honor your father and your mother. Antonio or God? Okay. Thank you so much, Kim. Y'all meet your mic, clap for Kim for being just so amazing. And where's the poetic justice bandana and the dookie braids?
Oh, I'm sorry. Next week.
Okay. Well, I bet your man like Chicago. He brushes hair all the time. He got them waves, y'all.
I was just surprised because he wasn't in here.
Hey, Otis, you shall not murder. Is that murder Antonio or murder God?
Murder Antonio.
Interesting. You shall not commit adultery. Is that commit adultery on Antonio or God?
Reference to Antonio.
Exactly.
A human.
Oh, you shall not steal from God or steal from Antonio. In this particular case,
at all.
Antonio again.
Antonio.
You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Is God your neighbor? Or is Antonio your neighbor?
Antonio is my neighbor.
You shall not covet Antonio's new car. Is that God driving a new car or is that Antonio driving a new car?
Antonio.
Thank you so much. I appreciate both of y'all. Thank you for stopping your screen on time. The 10 Commandments, Grace, are split into tertiary and binary. They're split. Now, forget these 10 Commandments. But what needs to be understood, Phil, is the golden age of the Hebrew people is 1200 AD. BC. This is when they were like kings and queens. The Bible starts, or at least Abraham starts, Genesis 12, 4,500 BC. Grace, actually, I do know. Do the math real quick. Generation 400 years. Okay, so 4,000 BC, Grace, 500 years later, you get your 10 Commandments. Is that okay? So 4,000 BC, 6,000 years ago, Grace, some folk who couldn't read understood binary, tertiary. Is this clear? All right, then. Now, today's the reason why this is so important is because Urantia was just dropping them hot bricks, explaining to John Calloway, I don't know what you're going to do with your life, but all we talking about right now is Trinity. If Talisha wants to leave her job and retire. Y'all hear me? That ain't got nothing to do with God. Why the hell are you praying? You missed it. You missed it. See, this is our problem. This is our problem. I'm about to shake your whole foundation, disrupt your soil, is what Lisa Nichols would say. Talisha goes, oh my God, I want to leave my job. Tracy goes, oh my God, I want to leave my job. Damani goes, oh my God, I love my job, but I want like real estate. That ain't got nothing to do with God. We can, oh my God, all you want to. Is God buying your real estate? Is God cutting your checks? Is God letting Tracy be on her last tour? See, the problem with Tracy, Damali, and whoever the third example I gave was, y'all keep listening to me tell y'all go to God. That's not a Trinitarian problem. Because if Tracy wants to leave her job, she's in commandment 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's a binary problem. What Tracy needs to do is how to win friends and influence people. That book always works itself back in my talks field. No matter what I do, it just works itself back in there. No, like, hear me well. Right now, my shirt says Hakuna Matata. It means no worries. No, I should have started, y'all. Go ahead. Go. Unmute your mic and sing it. Go ahead.
Because Deanna and Renee, they gotta get it.
I know. There you go.
Hakuna.
All right. Stop right there. Don't do Simba and the Timber and all that. There you go. All right. At least you got that out. I understand. That's like me saying Silent Night. And now you gotta go. I done started another one. My bad. Don't start. When Trinace prays, Lord, I want a new job. Why? God is not giving y'all new jobs. You are. It's a binary issue. Okay, go ahead, Deanna.
Okay.
Talk to me.
What if you're praying for that new job so you can further your purpose, which does become it moves from binary to I can't remember the word you said.
Tertiary.
Doesn't it move it to that point? Like, okay.
No, it does not. Hold on, you can stop right now. You ain't gonna give me examples. Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna answer a question with a question. Has anybody prayed for a job the way she just said it? I'm praying for a job so I can do better for my family. And it happened. Okay. I got Trinace, I got Talisha, all people. I'm not saying it did. Who made it happen, Talisha, if you don't mind? Don't you dare tell me God. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room if I hear God.
I had something to do with it.
Of course you did.
I applied, but it worked out. It worked out the way that I wanted. I was specific with what I wanted.
Oh, so you were specific.
I was specific, but I applied for several jobs.
So God didn't give it to you then?
What do you mean?
What you mean?
Right.
No, he didn't.
Why not? Because
you gave it to you.
Position.
You didn't have the position to make it happen. Like you did your part, but then
this is why y'all can't manifest. Y'all keep removing yourselves at the manifestation properties.
But what about faith without works is dead? So
so you actually proving my point.
We're doing
proving my point. You proving my point with that scripture. Keep going.
I'm just saying we're doing the work and we have faith that God is going to put us in the place where we want to be.
But it's after you did the work though, right?
Well, yeah, you got to do some work.
So it was, Lord, I did my part. It's out my hands. Bless this work, is what Kim is saying.
Mrs. Smith.
Come on.
Beans, you went down this rabbit hole.
I did.
You went down here.
And James got a whole chapter on it.
I ain't gonna just leave my girls out there like that, okay? So I got one for you Mr.
you,
Antonio T. Smith.
Give it to me.
I'm upstate New York.
Yep.
Working with them kids.
Okay, you working, so I hear you working.
And they did everything in their power to get rid of me. I'm talking about the powers that be.
I hear that.
Brought me up on charges.
Yep.
Read me my rights, the whole nine. You know, boom, boom, boom. I'm still there. Ain't gone nowhere. Ain't going nowhere. You know why?
Why?
You ain't put me out of nowhere. I'm gonna leave on my terms. I ain't leaving on your terms. So I'm still there, right?
Yep.
They got so ignorant with me that they began to disrespect me in front of the kids.
Yep.
See, when they did it behind my back, or when they did it on the down low, I live with that. They did it in front, and then the kid go, "Sorry, did you hear what he just said?" And I'm like, "Huh? Did you hear what he just said?" I'm like, "What?" That was disrespectful. I said, "Oh, you misunderstood them." That kid did not misunderstand him. He picked up on it. And then what the kids started doing, Mr. Smith,
talk to me,
was telling them, "We'll listen to Sorry Red. We ain't gonna listen to you." And they got wrote up. So now they were getting more time on their sentence because of me. So my girls are here. So what did? I prayed. I say, "Lord,
fair enough.
What can I do?" You know, because I'm doing right. I'm trying to do right by these kids. I ain't letting these people do mess with me. But now these kids are being penalized for me. And the Spirit of God came back to me and says, "Jerome, is it about you or is it about the kids?" I said, "God, you know it's about the kids." He said, "You know what you need to do." I put in my resignation. 30 days later, I was gone. Now, did God get me another job? Sure did.
Sure did.
But I didn't want to listen to me. If it weren't for that, I'd still be there. Me and you wouldn't be friends right now. I'd still be working with those kids.
Yeah, that's right.
What I did. But when those kids are getting penalized for me, I had to leave. Okay. So answer that, Mr. Smarty Pants.
No, I got you. I got you for sure. No doubt. Everybody laughing at you. Let me preface this by I'm not removing God from Kim and Talisha's life. I'm increasing Kim and Talisha in their own lives. I'm attempting to argue that y'all need to stop letting charismatic Bible thumpers tell you you're not the one with responsibility in your life. This is what I'm saying. Now let's answer Jerome's question. I'll answer Jerome's question with scripture, if you don't mind. He liked that kind of behavior. Grace, Daniel chapter 6.
My girl D. Marie got it for me.
D. Marie, Daniel chapter 6. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Daniel chapter 6. Thank you for telling me, Grace. I need ESV. While we would know this in King James, I need a very, very accurate translation of the Bible. Daniel chapter 6, ESV. Now watch this here. English, there you go. Right there. Now everybody pay attention. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 satraps to be throughout the whole kingdom. Think of these satraps as governors, and over them were 3 high officials. Think of these high officials as senates, or president, vice president, secretary of state would be more accurate. Of whom Daniel was once, of whom Daniel was one, to whom these satraps should give account. So Daniel was in a vice president, secretary of state, or president statue. Stop your screen, Deanna. I need everybody to catch me real quick. I'm trying to make y'all Bible make sense to you. Is this okay? Daniel was a bad motor scooter. Is this okay? And he was like 19. He was JFK, Susan. Y'all like that kind of stuff. You know, okay. JFK. But except he wasn't 40. It was like 19, 20. Go ahead, Deanna. Set it back up on the screen. And then, well, I got the whole text memorized. And then Daniel became distinguished above all other high officials. That sounds like president to me, huh, Susan? Huh? Or about to be president, huh? Stop your doggone screen there. They still not with me real quick. I'm answering Jerome question, smarty pants question. If it's only 3 people in charge, Talisha, that's president, vice president, speaker of the House, secretary of state. You can go with either one of these. If the vice president, the president dies, speaker of state, Jesus, I combine 2 things into one. The speaker of the House becomes president. Is this clear? Daniel was one of these 3. The text don't say which one he was, Susan, but the text does say, my man was favored. He wouldn't. And here's the crazy thing, y'all. The other 2 were Babylonian. Daniel was a Negro. I don't mean it as a Negro in the way you understand it. I'm just trying to get you to see that. Think about in 1941, a Negro being first in charge and favored of the president of the White House, right? Like, just think of that. This is how preposterous this is, Otis, but it's written down. It's not just written down by the Jews. It's written down by every civilization at this time. All right, share your screen down. Tracy, you finna love this. Verse 4, then the high officials and the satraps sought to find a complaint against Daniel. See, Tracy ain't doing nothing wrong. The problem with Tracy is she's anointed and flawless. That's why they trying to set her up. I wish I had somebody. I'm trying. I ought to end the whole class, right? You know what? We're not going to talk about nothing else. I don't want to talk about nothing. No. Keep this up. But forget that. We was going to go to Pathbender tonight. I was going to end with Pathbender, Susan. Like chapter 3 had a letter from Antonio. I was going to end with that. You know what? We're going to get rid of all that. We're going to ride Tracy energy right now. I felt something when I used her as an example. Monique, I felt something. Then the high officials and the satraps and the superintendent and the principal and the vice principal sought to find a complaint against Tracy with regard to the ISD. That's in the text, Grace. It's right there. It is. That I am not outside the text. Okay. But they could find no ground against Tracy. All she did was present a way for these students to be better because she was faithful. Highlight, and no error of fault was found on Tracy. Just highlight it, Grace. All I'm doing is changing the pronouns. I'm not changing the word of God, Jerome. I'm not. Where's Jerome, man? Let me scroll to him. Let me scroll to him. I ain't changing nothing. Okay, I ain't changed nothing. It's right there, Jerome. These men said, you know what, Tracy, get on our nerves. This is verse 5. Deanna, just use a cursor to follow me. I'm going to change the words a little bit, but I'm not changing the word. You get me? These men said, we ain't going to find nothing against Tracy or complain against her unless we find it in connection to her God. Where's Tracy at? Where's you? Let me drag your screen over here to where I need you and Jerome on the same screen. Hold on, y'all. I need them on the same screen. Give me a second. I need them on the same. Could you Zoom let you drag now? I need her and Jerome sitting together. Wait, there you go. Hold on. Y'all can't sit on my end, but I'm dragging her. Hold on, yeah. Let me stop your screen real quick. I need to drag her. I need her and Jerome on the same. There we go. I got them together now. All right, share your screen there. I got them together now. Okay. Let you drag those little boxes. All right, so now here's Tracy. We ain't gonna find nothing against Tracy unless we find him in connection to her worship. Jerome, that's text, huh? Okay. These high officials, these superintendents, these I'm more senior teacher than you, Tracy. I have no idea why God told me to do Tracy, but I can feel a power. I can feel a power happening right now. I know God's doing something. You know what we should do? We should come up with agreement. What kind of agreement? Man, we should tell the superintendent. We should tell the principal. Oh, principal. Oh, King Darius. You know you're cold, right? Principal Johnson. We've been following you a long time, Principal Johnson. We've been following you a long time, Principal Johnson. We love you. And all the teachers, all the high officials of the kingdom, all the teachers of St. Barbara's Missionary Baptist ISD. That's not her school. I mean, we love you. And the governors agreed that you should run for superintendent real soon. But I ain't gonna lie, there's an ordinance that we need to enforce in an injunction that whoever prays to anybody but you, Principal Johnson, anybody, let me put this in school, to anybody submitting funding proposals outside of you. I wish I had somebody. Come on, Grace, you understand this talk. Anybody trying to get funding for their class outside of a 30-day period, outside of this semester, if they signed a new contract, they got to get fired. 30 days, except you, O king, shall be cast into the lion's den. Huh? Otis, I have not, all I'm doing is making this relatable, but I am not violating the scriptures. I don't want to talk about nothing else. For the next 30 minutes, Grace, I won't talk about nothing else. You hear me? Jerome brought up the scripture, I think. Okay. Somebody brought up the scripture. The Lord brought up the scripture. Either way, we here now. Now, Miss Johnson, won't you go and sign into enactment that Tracy, not Tracy, my bad, I didn't mean to say Tracy, Miss Johnson. Won't you go and sign that we need a new rule that everybody got to go through you to appeal for funding on behalf of the superintendent, the school district. So you think Trace ain't going through this all you want? Anyway, where's Jamal? I know Jamal should have been shouted. And anyway, therefore, the principal signed the document and the injunction. But when Tracy knew that the document had been signed, Tracy went to her house.
Watch it.
Had the windows in her upper room open, and towards Jerusalem. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that no other way, Jerome. You can't do that no other way. It's right. Kim, you can't do that no other way. Not if you're gonna be a Southern Baptist preacher. You can't do that no other way. No. Go and put me in E flat. Let's get out of here. But that's not time. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's when I would have said that right there. Tracy then got on her knees 3 times and prayed for the microphone and gave thanks. I'm joking with y'all. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it to y'all. That's a whole different class. Before her God, as she had always done in the privacy of her home. Now, we're gonna come back to Jerusalem in a second. Then, while Tracy was in that classroom, minding her business, praying for these kids, here come them hater Antonios. They came by and found an agreement. They ain't making a petition for a plea. Then they came near the king and say, Principal Johnson, didn't we not say that folks shouldn't be trying to get funding from the superintendent going over your head, except for they go through you? She ought to be fired. That's cast into the lion's den. And then Principal Johnson say, who the hell is it? Who is it? I'll fire them right now. because I cannot go against my word. My word is law. And then them folks said, well, you know, it's Tracy. No. Tracy was just in the meeting with no. I got a big plan. No, not Tracy. Verse 13. Then they said, it's Tracy, the one who lived down there, south, little southeast Houston. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She always been funny. She don't eat lunch with us. She'll eat lunch with us. She might not be. The last time I saw her, she be in her car. I think something wrong with her. I think something wrong with her. She don't eat lunch with us. She don't hang out with us. She blocked us on Instagram, I think, because they will never follow us. She don't come in on my posts. But I see her up there praying. Then the principal said, man, I done fooled around, verse 14, and made this promise. I got to do something. And the principal was stressed out, Jerome. Principal say, man, I can't do Tracy like that. But I got big plans for Tracy. Can't do Tracy like that. And Tracy, the principal went to go check the bylaws. That's verse 14. That's the B part of verse 14. Let's go check the Medes and the Persians and the injunction. We got to check something. Give me the library. Let me check the bylaws. Let's check the bylaws of the school. I just have a hood way of explaining things, but this is accurate. I'm telling you, this is accurate. Verse 16. Then Tracy said, Principal Johnson said, man, y'all sure it's Tracy? I tell her she got to go online still. You might have to tell her she on probation. If she do something again, I'm gonna have to get her. I don't want to do it. He secretly didn't want to do it. But I gotta do it. Verse 17. Y'all prepare the paperwork. And a stone was brought and laid on the mount of the dead. How does it not prepare the paperwork, Grace? And the stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the dead, and the king sealed it. Prepare the paperwork, and I'll sign it. Jerome, y'all do the paperwork, I'll sign it. How was it not? Anyway, I'm at verse 18. And then Principal Johnson went in the office feeling bad, knowing that she got set up by these traitors because she had big plans for Tracy and she couldn't get no sleep. And then it was a weekend. But 3 days later, text don't say that. Text say the next morning. Tracy came back Monday. She was worried all night. Principal Johnson say, Tracy, you got to go online. I'm not gonna lie to you. We got to have a talk. You got a meeting. And Tracy was put on academic probation. Y'all know what that is? Academic suspension with pay or without pay. They do it without pay. You fire. You feel me? You ain't coming back. I've never seen anybody come out of academic suspension without paying and come back. I've never seen it. Verse 22. Tracy in there. And the whole time she on academic probation, she getting speaker contracts. Help me, somebody. Speaking engagements. Come on. I wish I had somebody. See, the thing that was supposed to kill her, Renee, wound up being her pillows for comfort.
You better shut your mouth up.
That's the thing that happened to Molly. Verse 24. Verse 23. And then the king was principal was exceedingly glad. Tracy, man, y'all mean to tell me Tracy ain't guilty? Oh, yeah. We're going to skip down 24, 25, 26, and 27. Throw these folks that tried to set her up in the first place and to put them all on academic probation. They ain't coming back. See, what happened in the text was the very thing that was supposed to kill Daniel, the lions, Daniel slept on. They became pillows. Stop your screen, Deanna. I got it from here. This is what Daniel did. Geographically, Babylon was about 580 miles away from Jerusalem. You can look it up yourself. There were 3 waves of deep. This is not something you know from reading your Bible, but you don't know it if you didn't pay $150,000 to Houston Baptist University in student loans, right? This is not something you know. I had to accrue $150,000 loan just to know this here. There are 3 waves of major deportation. What does deportation means? That means when the Babylonian, so in 722 BC, the Assyrian Empire got rid of the northern kingdom. Now there's just 3 tribes left. We call them 2 tribes. That is Judah, Benjamin, and then Levites. Levites never counted. This is why in the New Testament, you only hear of tribe of Judah, because ain't no more 10 tribes, because the Assyrians got rid of all of them and then spread them all across, and then the bloodline was messed up forever. This is why in the New Testament you have what you call Sumerians, who are a mixed breed, or mutts, if you will, of Jewish blood. That's why there's so much racial tension inside of the New Testament. And in 605 BC, the first wave of deportation. What does that mean? That the war lasted for a while, but here's what happened, Trinace. King Nebuchadnezzar and his people took the biggest and the brightest and the youngest to Babylon first. And the first wave of deportation was Daniel and his friends. Grace, gonna give us Daniel friends in the black church, not in the Bible. We need the black church.
Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro.
And a bad Negro. That's how I said in the black church. That's how I said the black church. You understand? That's how I said the black church. Abednego is what you, but in the black church, it's a bad Negro. Don't worry about that. Y'all don't know about that. Some of y'all do, though. Some of y'all do. These 3 friends plus Daniel, 605 BC. So I need you to get that the temple, 605 BC, first wave, 597 BC, second wave, 586 BC, third wave, the temple falls. But while Daniel is praying in chapter 6, it's 604, 603 BC. Temple is standing. You missed it. Rewind. Press play. It must face this way now, Grace. Kids, listen to me. Daniel is in trouble. He can't see the temple. What is the temple? Everybody write this down. All blessings, Kim, flow from the temple. All forgiveness, Kim, came from the temple. And God's presence was most holy in the temple. God's blessings came from the temple. All of Don's blessings came from the temple. All of Don's forgiveness came from the temple. And if Don wanted to meet God, it came from the temple. Those balloons are pretty cool. Did I do that? Did y'all see those balloons? I guess it must be saying temple. Temple blessings. I bet it's the word blessings. 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 Blessings.
You know Deanna did that. Stop.
I was wondering who. I was wondering it was one of the kids. I don't know.
All the blessings came from the temple. The forgiveness came from the temple. I'm trying to see if I can do it. There must be an AI word in there somewhere. And God's present came from the temple. No, all right, whatever. Okay, I was trying to get the balloons to pop up again. Whatever I'm saying is making these balloons pop up anyway.
You can explain everything else. You can't explain that.
Oh, maybe it's Tracy hitting these little emojis making it. No, it's not. Okay, all right, all right. Well, some of these balloons. Go ahead, y'all keep doing your things. So here is Daniel. I want y'all to pay attention. Daniel looks out, and Daniel goes, "Man, I'm in trouble." And Daniel don't know what to do, Talisha. And Daniel looks out and goes, "Man, that's messed up. That's real messed up. What I'm gonna do? Only thing I know how to do is look to where the last time I was blessed. I'm gonna do it again. 580 miles away. Trinace, a few more people will get it this time. 580 miles away. Kim, Daniel goes, oh, they're about to kill me. What you gonna do, bro? I'm gonna look towards the last time I got blessed. I dare you to pull up the text. The text says Daniel opened his door, his windows towards Jerusalem. See, sometimes, Tracy, you can't see Jerusalem, but you know where it is. Sometimes, Talisha, you can't see your next breakthrough, but you know where it came from.
Sir.
Sometimes, Trinace, you got to just remember, I know this is bad for me, but last time over there, I wish I had to, over there, it was a blessing. So what Daniel does is looks to the last time God did something good for him. And sometimes, Jerome, you can't see, like John Cena, you can't see what's happening in front of you. But Damali know to look at the last time God did something good in her life. And that's a word for you, Tracy. Ooh, girl, almost close this thing out. I'll play the organ behind this thing. It's a word for you, Tracy. Because you ain't got to know where you're going. Sometimes you just need to look at where you've been. Because if you would be honest with yourself, Trinace, you don't need to know how you're going to sell out your tickets. You just need to know. You've sold out things before.
I don't even care how them damn tickets sell, to be honest.
Because you know where Jerusalem is in your life. Because all blessings came from the temple, Jerusalem. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, that's right. You could do this and it does something. Oh, no, that's Apple. That's Apple. No, that's not this. That's FaceTime. FaceTime if you do this.
Thumbs up has been covered up quite often on your screen as you've been talking. I don't know what's.
Let me do blood killer.
So it's not going to do that because I saw this thing like last year or year before last. It says AI will not recognize brown skin because it said, if you notice, when you try to use hands-free stuff, it don't recognize you.
It's terrible in the airports. Terrible in the airports. Absolutely terrible in airports. Wait, I'm on a Zoom meeting or am I in a church? you at Zoom church, Zoom Missionary Baptist Church right now. You got to go. Sometimes, Kim, when life is causing you problems, you got to remember, you got to look back to the last time you was blessed. Can I get a witness? It don't matter what your faith was.
Amen.
But sometimes life gets too hard for you to look up front. You need to just look backwards and go, you know what? This all I got. Do I got something? This all I got, folk? Like, I ain't got nothing else.
Yes,
I don't know what the hell I'm going to do next.
If he did it before, he can do it.
Exactly. See, the problem with Christians, or even faith-based people, not just Christians, is the problem with faith-based people is you believe God can do it. What you don't believe is God could do it again. That's the problem with faith-based people. Y'all believe God can do it, but you don't believe God will do it again for you. Because we're so conditioned. Well, I don't mean to ask too much, Lord. Or you call your breakthrough. Hey, Antonio, I know you're busy. Oh, so what you just told God was you don't expect Antonio to bless you at all because you know he's busy. Hey, God, I'm going to tell Antonio he's busy because I don't expect him to ever return my call. And God goes, well, your wish is my commandment. Oh, here's my favorite. I don't mean to bother you. Okay. So now you're bothering me. So your wish is my command. Careful of the words that fly out your mouth. Phil gets y'all all the time. I can't wait. No, don't say that. Right? You careful of the words that flow from your mouth, because that's a mentality thing. If you think your breakthrough, you're bothering them, the universe will say, well, Tracy, you know what? You're wishing my command. That was a word for somebody. Somebody need to hear that. So,
I'm unmuting. Okay. Hello everybody. Real quick, because that
take your
literally was
time.
a conversation this morning with like just being in need of something and then not wanting to ask.
Yes.
Because like if you've asked before, now some of y'all can relate to this. If you've asked for help before from people or whatever, and you don't want to ask for help again because you already asked for help before, it's kind of like with God sometimes for me. I'm like, you know what? And especially if you know you put yourself in the situation, you don't be really wanting to ask God to get you out of it because you know it's your fault. Like, so I'll be like, you know, okay, God, I know God can do it, and I know God can do it again, but I'd be hesitant to ask for stuff that I'm already asked for. And if you already brought me out of it before, and I put myself back in it again after you brought me out, I'm like, I don't really want to ask you because you already did it. So, and that person said I was being prideful. So is that pride? Well, I'm just saying, I guess it is pride because I don't want to ask again if I've already asked.
That's a good man. This pulls for me. So I got one answer for you, but I'm not sure if everybody can accept it. But you, I know for sure you can. It's not pride. It is pride. So all things are pride. Even when we're humble, we're proud about being humble, right? This is a matter of not knowing how important you are to God. And that's worse than pride.
Watch it.
Yeah, this is why I was hesitating to answer this question, because everybody can't handle that. Everybody can't handle what I just said. When Tracy said, but I know God already did it, but I mean, I put myself in this situation. You're so important to God. God don't care about you putting yourself back in a situation over and over, Kim. God cares that you're the situation, not what you keep putting yourself in. See, we for some reason we think we getting on God's nerves. But here's the point. Assuming you believe in God, Talisha, God has known every time you cussed out your husband, ex-husband, God knew it. You act like you caught God by surprise. Y'all act like God was like, damn, Tracy, I didn't know you was gonna do that. That is not what God is doing. God is not shocked, surprised, or disappointed. Antonio, I ain't know you. I ain't know you was gonna, I mean, that ain't what I wanted for you. So I don't know what to do either. That is not how God is working. God knew Kim was gonna find Big Daddy before Kim found Big Daddy. And he is Big Daddy. That's it. She got that poker face on. But she's still there though, ain't she?
She a lady. That's why she ain't cussing you out.
She's a lady, but she's also a lady in place, which means she done found Big Daddy. You feel me? Anyway, I'm not gonna bother y'all too much.
I'm gonna let you make it. I'm gonna let you make it today.
If it's one thing she was gonna let me make it was gonna be about Big Daddy. You understand? You must know, Tracy, your question was so amazing, so powerful, and so relevant. It's not a matter of pride. It's more of a matter of we got so much pride that God don't love us than we have pride that God does love us. This is why I listen to Joel Osteen so much. Joel Osteen, I don't care what you think. Think what you think. You can even express to me what you think. But if anybody is going to remind Monique that God loves you and you are important to God, it is Joel Osteen. Between Joel Osteen, see, TD Jakes is like a Christian Les Brown to me. between Joel Osteen and TD Jakes, I can't listen to them too much in one day. I can't. I'll be like building space rockets and stuff. I can't keep listening to them. I need to stay focused on what I'm trying to do. They'll have me thinking that I can create marshmallows that build houses or nanobots and stuff. I can't keep listening because Joel is going to remind me every morning, Talisha, you know, Antonio, you are great. That's what's going to happen. And then TDJ gonna say, now that you're great, man, don't kill it. And I can't keep listening to them. It's too much for me. So I got to listen to them like the first hour. After that first hour, I got to let them go because I'll be like trying to make cotton candy out of clouds. You know, they have me thinking plenty of things. You know, I got to stay a little bit realistic. You know, I'm not saying they're not realistic. They just so good at what they do, Damali. I'll start selling teeth. You know, like, you know, I'll pull my own tooth out and be like, here, you know, I just start saying just a bunch of stuff. Tracy, this is my word for you. You know it, but I'm going to remind you. Jamal has already reminded you. You are so important to God that this is your year, not next year, not next month. If you stay open and give thanksgiving for all things, tomorrow your life will change. And I don't mean tomorrow as if God needed tomorrow. It just happens to be the time in which you go back to work. But somebody is watching you, and somebody has tested you, and somebody is now backing you up and defending you. See, you were trying to leave that job while God was trying to use that job to create you another career. If I was in church, I'd have leaned it back. I'd lean it all the way back. I'd have pulled that thing. I'd have pulled it, but that's African church. That's an African American church. Talisha, we don't, you know, if I was in white church, I would have said something similar to, can I get a witness? Yes. Anybody relate to that? That's what I would have did. Okay. But in the black church, you know, I would have E flat squalled that thing out of there right there. Tracy, everything you're trying to leave, God is trying to use. I wish I had somebody. Talisha, everything you lost was in your way from the prayers God has given you. See, y'all fool around. Kim fools around. Kim goes, God, can I have this? God goes, sure. God goes, sure. Okay, thank you, God. And then Kim started losing stuff. Wait a damn minute, God. No, you said you wanted it. You wanted it. Well, I ain't say take that from me, but you can't have those things. Because what you're asking for, these people got to fade away. Anybody losing people lately? Anybody losing friends lately? Anybody losing people lately?
Oh
Anybody?
my God. Family,
friends, people, money, possessions. So you got to lose these things, not because you're losing, it's because what you're praying for, Don, can't last with what you currently have.
So you saying grandma had to go and get out the way, is what you're saying.
You wouldn't even be dressed up if grandma was in the way.
You were correct.
You wouldn't even be wearing the little hats. You wouldn't have on no heels. Grace wouldn't even, when grandma was alive, Grace wasn't even looking for her husband. Grace, how many years you waited on your husband? Go on, tell the fellow. Let me put your business out there for a moment.
21.
21 years.
Mm-hmm.
And how many years you wanted a husband? Same answer.
Yeah, 21.
There you go. And how old are you now, Grace?
I'll be 43 Saturday.
And how old would you be in a day and like 2 hours or something like that?
Yeah, 43.
43. So your birthday, August 12th.
That's it.
Grace, have you ever had a boyfriend?
No.
ever.
Mm-mm.
You've been waiting this whole time for the
Mhm.
Lord to send you somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you and Monique is the same. Y'all crazy as hell. You feel me? Y'all crazy as hell. I mean, God bless y'all. That ain't my ministry. Y'all crazy as hell. Now, Grace, if I may, if your grandma was still alive, would you be looking for your husband or taking care of your grandma?
Taking care of grandma.
See, sometime y'all. Did you see that transition, Tracy? It was a sweet transition. Sometimes the thing you love got to go so you can get the thing that you're praying for.
Sir, you talking, and that's my
I hear
life
you,
right there.
Reverend.
That's my life right there.
I hear you, Reverend.
I told you we was gonna go 30 minutes over. I'm actually ahead of schedule. But we gonna park this plane though, Kim. The very thing that you love, Tracy, is the very thing God trying to tear apart. Some of y'all holding on to things God trying to rip apart. And the reason why you can't put down your land again, sir, I'm still in the ad right now, Renee. I'm still in the ad right now. Some of y'all trying to get things while praying for things and while having things that is in the way of those prayers. See, Trinae.
Okay, Antonio,
Talk to me. Now you gotta talk to me, man. I'm trying to beat this thing off.
You just like Deanna. Y'all just be pulling in my driveway all the time. I'm just gonna make a place. But I had my closest cousin.
Yep.
My closest cousin. I mean, the girl that, you know what I'm saying, I watched her graduate from high school. I mean, that was my sister, you know what I'm saying, even though she was my cousin. And I had her tell me that she was mad at me because I was still talking to I was still talking to my family, and she was like, you know what I'm saying, you know what so and so did to me, but you still talking to them, and I've been you know, I did stuff for you and you didn't know about. And I'm like, wait, where is this coming from? This comes out of left field. And I'm like, what the hell? I haven't talked to her, and it's been because of that. I haven't talked to her in months because she's mad at me. And I'm like, you know what? I love her, but it broke a sister's heart because we had been like this. We 4 years apart. We've been like this since I was real little. I mean, I watched the girl get married and got babies and all that, and I'm like, it broke my heart. But then I said, you know what? I must be going somewhere for her to be dropping off, because I always thought that she was the constant, you know what I'm saying? Mama passed away, dad passed away. Danny was always there for a sister. But she, it's kind of like that the Ice Cube song, you know what I'm saying? Used to be my homie. Now she act like she don't know me. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna let it go. It hurt for the longest. It still kind of hurts, but then I'm like, you know what? I can't have it. I love you from a distance. I'm not gonna wish no ill will. I'm not gonna do that. That's not who I am. But if you gonna get mad at me for just trying to be cordial to my own family, I never brought her into to the drama that they said to me. I never put her in that because it wasn't, I wasn't trying to put her in that. That's my licks. I wasn't trying to put her in those licks, but I'm like, hey, she put that out there, and I'm like, okay, I love you. I wish her happy birthday on the 1st. It was August 1st. Wish her happy birthday. She pretend like she don't know me. That's cool, because at the end of the day, that's her. That's whatever. That's what she's reaping, and I'm trying to continue to reap love and be like, okay, all right. If you don't want to talk to me, then I'm not gonna force you. I'm just gonna be like,
does it still hurt?
A little, not as much as it did.
No doubt. but then reach out. Okay. Reach out with a phone call this time.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if she answered. That has nothing to do with you. Doesn't matter the response. And if you answers, you're going to get resistance for the first whatever, because you hurt her. See, this is your problem. Y'all problem is y'all not good at looking at people's pain. You're so enthralled in your pain that you never see their pain. Oh, well, you spending money and you doing this and whatever, like whatever that may be, right? That's your problem. We're not asking you to make up with her. We're not asking you to reach out to her. We're asking you to reach out to her for you. Her response to you has nothing to do with you. But as long as you're hurting, your soul is telling you you're not doing it wrong. You're not doing the right thing. I'm gonna let that sit there. That's your Urantia. That's Law of One. That's your Bible. As long as Trinace's soul is hurting. Whenever the next time y'all do something and you're in pain, stop, for God's sake. If you hurt your friend, Don, if you hurt your friend and you're in pain, you did the wrong thing. Your soul is God's voice. The first language on the planet was vibration, Tracy. And if you feel bad, you're doing bad. This is not up for discussion. Did I tell Renee reach out to her friend for some closure crap? No. Closure is trash anyway. You don't need no closure. He'll move on. But if you're hurting, your soul wants you to reach out. Now, I did not say reach out with expectancy. That's not reaching out. That's not reaching out. See, Talisha, me and you together. If you knew, I do this all the time. Boys and girls, I do this all the time. I had me and Jerome together last week. Talisha, me and you together. If I heard Talisha and I reach out to Talisha, she don't want to reach back out to me, then ain't got nothing to do with me. You see, once I forgive myself, and once I ask for her forgiveness and she don't give it to me, that's her karma now. Ain't got nothing to do with me. She is now taking it too far. Y'all remember King Nebuchadnezzar from the Bible? Remember God had him like an eagle with the long claws and stuff? Because he took it too far. He was supposed to enslave the Hebrew people, but he took it too far. And so God punished him. Jerome, tell me if I'm lying. It's in there. It's in there. It really is. It really is. He took it too far. He really did. So I want you to, Renee, reach out. Reach out before you're supposed to. Reach out before you're comfortable. Now I'm going to give y'all the flip side. Y'all ready? Mine, Lucy, that's who adopted me. Call me today. I told Monique. She want me to call my Uncle Jerry, real names. That's Pastor Temple of some church that might as well burn into the ground as far as I'm concerned. Did you hear me, buddy? The whole church could burn into the ground. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want it to burn, but they're gonna burn. You hear me, Ashton? The whole church can burn. They go, no, they know they daddy. The whole church can burn. The whole church can get herpes on the side of the building. It is what it is. No sense in me playing around with y'all. My kids know who I am. Well, call Uncle Jerry. That's what we call him. Call Uncle Jerry because blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. I ain't got no beef. But here's the problem with this, though, Renee. I'm 42 years old. I'm 10 years younger than Grace. Grace, you old as hell. Your birthday ain't got nothing to do with your real age. You can't even type on a computer. Your birthday ain't got nothing to do with your real age.
I can't stand you.
I'm 10 years younger than Grace. Okay. Every experience I've ever had with that side of my family, especially with that particular person, has never worked out for me, Trinace. Tanisha, you know how much I gotta unlove myself to reach out to this man? Because now he needs something after he always needs something. He must only reach out to me when he needs something. And it never, Kim. I mean, Kim, 42 years. This man just led a whole crusade against dragging my name into the ground. And since the lady who adopted me got a bleeding heart and wants me to be right with Christ, that's what she called me for. Just, baby, just do it for your mama. She calls it, because that's what she said to my former's mom. Do it, just do it. No, she's always said, do it for your auntie, do it for your auntie. But auntie me and her mean mom and son. I said, all right, well, since you said so, but I didn't give my word. Phil, I lied. Because I didn't give my word. If I give you my word, I got to do it. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm not reaching out to Uncle Jerry. It has nothing to do with beef. Renee, if you're hurting, you must, by law of this universe, reach out. In your particular case. But if every single experience you've ever had with this person is detrimental to your mental health, you do not have to reach out. And you need to have the fortitude to know which one of these categories these people fit into. Jerome should not reach out to his sister. He should forgive his sister. Shouldn't have a problem with his sister. But if Jerome called his sister right now, Jerome gonna leave that conversation hurt and angry.
Antonio, 2 weeks ago, Antonio, she called me because my brother has prostate cancer, and he giving her a fit. So she called me. I come over. I said, I'm gonna talk to him. He came over, and I sat there. He came in the house, went up, ignored me. I said, we need to talk. Came downstairs. He went out back, smoked a cigarette, and she said, you better go talk to him because he gonna go back upstairs. So I went outside, talked to him, and told him about, hey, do the right thing, blah, blah, blah. He went on back and said, she and I sat there for about another 3 hours, Antonio, and we talked like brother and sister.
Get the blank out of here.
Listen to me, right? And I recorded it, right? And here's the deal, right? And I'm sitting there saying, the devil is a liar. I know he a liar. She ain't changed, but I got evidence right here that if you listen to it, you would think everything's fine.
That's because you changed. Because you said it this morning. You changed. And she can't exist in your reality as the same knucklehead. You feel me? When you change, you force her to have two options: fade away or change with you. I wish I had somebody.
I just wanted to share that. I just wanted to share that with you. And then I went on home and I was fine. She's still bad people.
Okay. So no doubt. And Queen Renee just sent me a message. Here's the deal. I'm going to reply to this message by replying to all of y'all. This is to thine own self be true. Right? Uncle Jerry ain't getting no call from me, and nor am I going to this man's funeral. And I'm not mad. No. I need y'all to hear this. Phil is the nicest person on this call. Between Phil and Susan, ain't nobody nicer than Phil and Susan. The rest of y'all front. Anybody nicer than Phil and Susan. Yeah, y'all front. But Phil and Susan ain't go to 1,300 funerals today in their area. So I just need you to get that just because I don't go to your funeral, because I know you, don't mean I got a problem with you. It just means you don't fit in the category in which I'm going to your funeral. That's a word for some of y'all. Just because I know you don't mean you fit into the category in which I'm going to your funeral. Just because I drink a beer with you don't mean I'm going to your funeral when you die. That's somebody else's ministry. That ain't my ministry. I'm not even trying to remember your death, let alone your life. That's not my fault. I love your life, but it don't exist in my reality. And if I'm trying to help him, Otis. Everybody's energy does not exist in Trinace's reality. And the faster she can accept that without anger, it's the faster she could pay attention to the 5% of the things in her life that's going to change her life. I promise you. See, me and Otis just had a conversation, had it with Grace. I think it was a Grace. Grace or Deanna. I think it was Grace. I think it was Grace. And I was like, oh, you should do this. It was brilliant. Otis was like, a day later, I thought about it, man. I'm going to do this. That's what Otis was supposed to do. That's his doggone life. You don't listen to me. You listen to your own compass. Renee, I ain't your mentor. Well, I guess I am your mentor because that's just the word we use in English. You your God, you your compass, man. I can't tell you what to do. All I can tell you is if you feel bad and you can control your emotions, call her. If you feel bad and you cannot control your emotions, do not call her. Do not ruin a friendship over a temporary feeling. That's stupid. Blasphemy in my house. We is not calling
Can I say something?
You sure can.
I'm sorry, forgive me.
You got it,
I
my
was just
bad.
listening to what you were just saying. And I said in the house, what you were saying about, hey, you outgrowing the individuals.
Come on, man.
And I can tell you, it's a hellacious anger when you know you've outgrown everybody in your household and around you.
Ain't that the truth?
And you love them, but you don't want to be around them because you know they're not on your level. You've outgrown everybody. And I get angry. And everybody's always asking, Johnny, what's wrong? Johnny, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm cool. But I know in my heart, and I know why my anger has kicked up, is because of the fact that I know that none of y'all can stand next to me. I've outgrown this shit. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I got emotional with it.
I cuss every 5 minutes, so it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how I be feeling. And sometimes I feel bad, but other times, it's like somebody asked me the other day, and the emotions that come up with it is amazing to me because it's like it comes in full force. And somebody was talking to me about that. I said, you know what? I said, you have no idea what it is to get up and walk and not give a damn about anybody's opinion of you. I said, every day I get up and that's the way I feel. I said, I don't give a damn about nobody's opinion about me. I said, I know who I am, what I am, why I am. I don't need your damn opinion to tell me that, and the thing is, it's like I find myself and I don't like when the anger come up, but it's like, it's more that I'm mad at myself because I know this is true, but they still around, but I don't spend much time with everybody, even though I may be in the same household, and it's just when you said that, it just touched that chord with me.
Right, brother. You're right.
But I understand it.
You're right. And I'll never hear you cuss. So I know you meant that. You cuss as much as Phil and Susan. I cuss because I spilled water in the refrigerator, so you saved, y'all saved. I keep telling y'all, I'm barely getting into heaven. I might not even get in. I might be at there might be like an airport or something before heaven or a bar. I might be at the bar. They might like
Antonio, I'll get you in.
You know what? You sure enough get there. Between you and Grace Grandma, y'all getting in. I'm gonna need all that help, Jerome. You understand what I'm saying? I need all that help. I want to end you with Tyrese.
Is going on all day, every day. So when you go to sleep at night, you're not resting. A lot of people would say, I love myself. Do you really love yourself? Are the things that you're doing, and the people that you're hanging out with, and the places and the circles that you're traveling in, does that reflect a person that actually loves themselves? If you love yourself, why would you fuck with those type of people? You know what they're saying about you behind your back. You know they're jealous and envious of who you are and the things that you got going on in your life and your career. You know that they don't like you. And they've made it clear. They've sent you every sign imaginable that they could possibly send you. And because you're so desperate to have people around you and in your life, you continue to go back. You continue to show up to everything they invite you to, knowing what they're saying about you. I'm not preaching separatism. I don't want a bunch of people to just be alone at home doing nothing with no friends, no family, and nothing to do. I'm saying that at this point, you are old enough and mature enough to understand the difference in good people and bad people. And when you're hanging out with negative, dark, and dysfunctional people, you cannot expect yourself to go to sleep at night and rest. You cannot expect yourself to feel good about your day when you're including negative and dysfunctional people in your day. So what you grew up with them? So what their childhood friends? So what their family? We have a responsibility to walk in the direction of peace. I want to laugh. I want to smile. I want to enjoy myself. I actually want to feel good about the people that are around me. You have that as a choice. You actually do. You don't wake up in the morning and negativity, dysfunction, problems, and issues just randomly pop up. These are the people that you have decided to include in your life. So the outcome of your day, your hour, your minute, your week, your month, and your year is always draining, always dysfunctional, and always fucking crazy. Because these are the type of people you've decided to include in your day-to-day life.
Preach, preacher.
I'm talking to somebody. You don't love yourself. You can't say that you love yourself when you continue to invite and include these people in your life. They're threatened, they're insecure. They have a problem with you and you don't even have a problem with them. They try and make you feel bad about being so blessed. They laugh about it, but they're throwing subliminal and very direct messages at you. I see you over there getting money, huh? That person has a problem with the fact that you're getting money. Oh, like that? Huh? I see you, I see you. They're jealous. They're envious. They're insecure. They're threatened by the idea that you're coming up. Your career and your life is advancing. God put people in your life for a reason. Others are there for a season. And it's very important that you recognize when people's seasons are over. God put people in your life for a reason. Other people are there for a season.
My man said you need to recognize when people's seasons are over. This is like 6 years ago now. This might be 10 years ago at this point. This is 7. This is a long time ago, y'all. Hold on, I'm almost done.
Is the season over? Or have you decided because you're desperate, because you just need validation, you need all of this shit and people and things around you, you've decided to drag these random people into the new season of your life?
Oh, man.
You have a boat.
Yeah.
And your boat is at its capacity.
Yeah.
And in order for your boat to not sink and go underwater, and that could be your career, that could be your life, that can be your personal life, your relationships, is that relationship over? Do you feel mentally, spiritually, and emotionally stimulated in that relationship? Are you just holding on to it because you got this concept of loyalty?
Tell them about loyalty, man.
That you have overused, and overabused.
Tell them about the expiration date.
Well, I've learned that loyalty has an expiration date.
Thank you so much, sir.
Loyalty isn't some open-ended thing that just goes on forever. Because technically, some people just don't really make sense for your life in the new
You better stop. Hold on. Let me let you finish. In the new season,
the mind and the space that you're in.
Okay, there you go. I gotta wrap this up. I'm out of here. I sent y'all the link. Did y'all get the link? Yeah, I sent y'all the link. Grace, I need 120 seconds, cuz I ain't gonna lie to you. I need 120 seconds. 120 seconds. All right, well, my kids listen to me, and one Monique listen to me. When everybody listen to me, I listen to me. Listen to me. One of the greatest motivational speakers on the planet is Tyrese Gibson. You can just put in Tyrese Gibson motivation. I promise you. Doesn't matter. He keeps it all the way real. Hear me well. Trinae's loyalty has an expiration date. Renee, loyalty has an expiration date. If it's your time to stop being loyal to Nicole, Karen, Talisa, not Talisha, but Talisa, you gotta be loyal to Talisha. She rolled with me. If you feel me, you gotta be loyal to her. Then you know what? Trinae said I got 7 minutes. Gonna take a little longer. All right, Trinae, Grace, I'm gonna take this whole 6 minutes. I need y'all to get that other people are bending their reality, and most of y'all are in other people's reality and not your own. See, I don't know what Tracy got going on. I just know that the moment Tracy decides to get in God will, people will crucify her for doing so. If Tracy decides to lose 15 pounds right now, somebody gonna say, you ain't got to be losing all that though. The only time Tracy would get 100% love and affection and grace and mercy is Tracy gonna have to have cancer or be in a wheelchair.
That is so true.
Talk to me, Kill. Talk to
Sir.
me, Kill. Talk to me, Kill.
Wow, that's true.
Real talk. They never gonna let Tracy get the kindness she deserves until Kim, who agrees with me, she understands she's gonna be in a wheelchair and get cancer. That's the jacked up life we live in, Talisha. As soon as Talisha decide, if Talisha right now decide to have another baby, girl, why you started over? If she decide not to have a baby, why you won't start over? It don't matter. People literally get up and they go, who? I showed Grace Young this clip a long time ago. Who gonna mess up my life today? There you go. Right there. Let me call my cousin. My cousin gonna mess up my life every chance they get. And I got 4 minutes left. Whenever Antonio, Don, listen to me, kids, Deanna, Monique, Aiden, Ashton, y'all listen to me. Do not multitask for this next 3.5 minutes. The reason why I'm so successful, and F what it look like. I could die right now, and these kids and Monique, I'm probably better off dead. It'll be much more a blessing to them immediately. Much more a blessing. Monique can immediately get a lump sum of cash. Like immediately. I got life insurance policy on her too, though. So she going out of there. We're gonna be good. You feel me? I ain't no dummy. Hear me well. I know that only 5% of what God is doing. I know 100% of what God is doing for me only occurs in 5% of my life. I'll say it again. 100% of what Jerome calls God that is working out for my future. And we know that all things that are working together for that's 5% of that. Why 95% is working out for me, it don't mean I'm supposed to go over there and surfboard on it, Phil. That's not the case. Footstools don't deserve my attention. I'm trying to help somebody. Thank you, Tracy. You get it. Because I invoke scripture. Footstools don't deserve my attention. And I really, really, really need all of you to receive as we close. I got like less than 90 seconds left. There's only 5% of the things in your life, Kim, that you were ever here to entertain and ascend. Everything else is just contrast created by your subconscious. And that came from your parents and your culture and everything else. Talisha, Tracy, I'm talking to you too. What you're going through right now is just the background for your blessings. Why in the hell are you paying attention to the background? You don't want no man that stay in the background. So why on earth are you want blessings in the background? That don't make no sense. Hey, I want you to love me, but love me in the background, okay? No, that's not what you want. You want somebody to come in your life and immediately put you in your feminine energy and take care of you publicly. That's called blessings. And as long as you pay attention to the background, you cannot pay attention to the blessing in the foreground. I end you with this. I don't know what your future holds. I just know your future is in the foreground. It is not under any circumstances in the background. What's the background, Antonio? 95% of the stuff happening in your life, Trinace. But I got to answer that phone call. Do you? If you died today, did that phone call make any difference in your life? Don't answer it then. The people y'all call mean are the people who are successful. I'm not mean because I don't entertain. I answer Phil, Susan, Deanna, Grace, Monique, and my kids. I don't answer in Trinace. Trinace, she finds her ass up in there and she weasels her way in. I don't answer the rest of y'all. I don't. Talisha and Jerome, you got them two in there. I don't talk because that's 90-something. That's your job. Pay attention to the 5%. I'm 1 minute over. Pay attention to the 5%. It is only the 5%. Yeah. Kim Mann was in the 5%. He was not in the 95. Susan found Phil in the 5%, not in the 95. May there be a blessing in hearing the readers, on the readers and doer of God's word. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can't plant better. You can't dominate. I only win 60. I've been 66 over, Grace. So I'm did good. Love you, everybody.
Love you more.
Love you more.
All right, y'all have a good one. See you next Thursday.